Hi, and welcome to the next video. Today's video is all about managing your mindset, because how we determine whether we have a good day or a really crappy day is all determined on our perspective. So today I want to share with you 2 mindset hacks that I use to be able to support myself in having a great day. So those 2 are going to be what you focus on is what you get, and staying above the fray. So firstly, what I want you to consider is what has to happen for you to have a great day compared to what has to happen for you to have a really crappy day, yeah? And then I want you to think about how our brain works and how we filter out information. So what we focus on is what we get. As a human being, we take on almost 2 million bits of information every single day, and our brain filters that through our 5 senses. So it's what we see, it's what we hear, it's what we smell, it's what we taste, and it's what we feel. Then, once our brain has filtered it through those 5 senses, it then goes through what we call the reticular activating system, the RAS. The RAS is also a filter, because if we were able to think about if we consciously thought about those 2 million bits of information every single day, we'd probably go insane. So the RAS actually filters out what it believes to be important to us. And then how it determines what is important is what we tell it. So what we point out in our mind, what we think about, what we focus on is what our brain is going to point out. So if we go throughout our day and think about all the negative things that happen, so if we're focusing on all the rude customers, on all the orders that have gone wrong, of all the challenges that are happening within the team, of all the emails that you've got to get back to, your brain will continue to point those things out every single day. Now, another way to think about this is think about the last time that you went to go purchase a new car. So you were thinking about you wanted a new car and you kind of pinpointed, I really want this amazing red car. And then every day you go out onto the road, you get into your normal car and you start driving and you start to see all of those types of cars every single day on the road. And you're like, were they always there before? Well, yeah, they probably were, but you weren't pointing it out, so it wasn't important to you at the time. So your brain didn't point it out. It filtered it out to be not important. So what's really important to think about is what you focus on. Because if we're focusing on all the negative things that are happening in our lives, we're focusing on all the things that are missing, we're missing out on so much joy and good that is actually happening. So it's about refocusing and then continuing to point out the things that are good that are happening in your life. So it could be every time that something good happens within the team, make sure that you make a focus on it. Anytime that someone is beautifully kind in store, make sure you make a point of it. And it could be just in your mind when you think, that's really beautiful. Our customers are so lovely. And then every time you think that, your brain will start to filter that out. And so then the rudeness or when a customer isn't necessarily friendly, then your brain will actually filter that out and it won't affect you as much. You won't take it on board as another thing that keeps happening or keeps going wrong. So it's really important to think about what you focus on every single day, because what you focus on is what you're going to get. Yeah, so just reminding yourself and priming your brain to focus on what is good and positive rather than what's not working and negative. It's a really beautiful hack that continues to work for me every single day. So remind yourself, what are you focusing on? Because the more you focus on the negative, the more you're going to get more of the negative. The more you focus on the positive, the more positive will come into your world. Amazing. The next hack that I want to share with you is called staying above the fray. Now, this is when you come along and there's certain challenges that come your way. So maybe something happens in the workplace that you're really frustrated or angry about. Or maybe there is a complaint that comes through that you're really upset about. You've really taken it on board in a not such a great way. And I want you to consider, and I'm going to put up a little graphic on the screen here, so you can take a screenshot of this to be able to support you by overcoming this every single day. And it's about hacking the way that you think and refocusing your thoughts to start to get out of the pity party or start to get out of the negativity and back up to feeling good and focusing on what you can control. So this is an extension from what you focus on is what you get, and being able to refocus your thoughts so then you can focus on what you can control in any circumstance. So whenever I am in a situation where I am challenged, I'm struggling, I'm focusing on a problem that is I'm not able to overcome, anytime that I'm really stuck in a negative state, anytime that happens throughout my day, I go towards this and use this to be able to refocus my thoughts. So you will notice down the bottom of the diagram all the negative emotions and the negative things that happen when we are stuck in our problem state. So let's say something's happened in the workplace and you're a little bit upset about what's happened. So you might be in a place where you're blaming somebody else for what's happened. It could be that we're avoiding or we're playing ignorant, like, oh, I had nothing to do with that, it's not about me. We could be focused on the problem and really stuck. And I'm sure you've experienced that before, where you feel so stuck that you just don't know what to do. This is because we're staying below the line. So we're actually below the line in a negative state. So we're feeling hopeless. We end up reacting from a place of anger or frustration. We get stuck in focusing on the failures of everything that's not working. We end up judging other people or judging the circumstance. We are constantly focused on excuses or making excuses. Or we can be completely vague and be in ignorance, where we're just like, it's nothing to do with me, I don't even know, I'm really just like not even wanting to find out what's really happened, right? So when we're stuck in that place, it is really, really difficult to be able to come up with a solution to overcome it. It is really difficult to be able to think about what was good in that moment, right? It's really, really hard. So what's really important is that we take this as a lesson to be able to learn to refocus our thoughts and manage our mind. So the first thing that we need to consider is we need to be able to change our state first, because we need to get out of that feeling before we can start focusing on being above the line and staying above the fray. So what we want to do first is we want to accept what has happened. Find acceptance in any way, shape, or form that you cannot change what has happened. It's in the past. So what can you control? You can control how you feel and the way that you choose to react from there. So the first thing you want to do is find acceptance in some way. Then you want to change your state. So what I mean by that is change how you're feeling. So it could be move around. It could be stand up and move from where you were sitting. It could be changing your environment. So getting outside the store, maybe go for a walk, head to the bathroom, go do something that changes how you feel in that moment. So changing your environment or changing your physiology. So what I mean by that is sit up straighter if you're sitting, or stand up if you can, shake it out, move your body and start to breathe a little bit deeper. And even if you can put on some music and really change how you're feeling, it'll help you be able to get into a better state to be able to focus on how you're going to overcome this challenge. So then we want to do is focus on how we get then above the fray. So this is where we find acceptance. We focus on the solutions. We find the positive in the negative, right? So we look at the situation and go, what's the good thing about this? What can I control here? And then we take full responsibility. We look at it from a place of completely judgment-free. So we get to see that as, okay, this was my part in this was my employee's part in this, and this was the customer's part in this, if that's the circumstance. So being able to really objectively look at the situation from a place of complete judgment-free and really look at the situation from a different perspective. Then we want to bring in options and choice, because a lot of the time when we're stuck below the line, we're so focused on all the things that we don't have, there are no options, we're out of control, and we're in a place of blame or judgment, right? So we want to bring ourselves back up to choice. What options do we have? What are our opportunities here? Because sometimes we don't recognize the opportunities when there are so many at our fingertips. We want to focus on finding hope, coming from a place of love, right? So when we actually have love, there is no place for judgment. There is no place for failure. It's just a learning and a lesson. Then we want to focus on what results we can create from here and take action. And we notice that any type of feedback is going to support us in taking more action. So it's a completely different focus when we allow ourselves to bring ourselves above the line. And then we focus on what clarity we need to be able to move forward and what abundance. So what is working right now that we can work with to be able to change the outcome here. It's a beautiful way to be able to shift and refocus our thoughts in such a snapshot of a time. It's so quick to be able to literally be in a situation, look at where you're feeling. Like literally, you can print off this diagram if you need to and literally have it in your office. So you can go, okay, so where am I sitting right now? I might be stuck in procrastination. I might be avoiding. I might be blaming. I might be in judgment. Okay, that's not supporting me. I cannot make a good positive choice or decision from this place. So what can I do to move forward? I stand up, I accept what has happened, and I move my body. I get out of the environment that I'm in and I change how I feel before then I change how I think. Okay, then we want to refocus our thoughts. What do I need to accept here? What are my solutions? What are my options? What results can we control from here? What action needs to happen? What feedback do I need to be able to move forward? And what clarity do I need to be able to make a decision? It's a whole completely different way of looking at things, and that change of perspective can change everything. Now, you can use this throughout your day, every single day, to shift how much time you spend below the line. Because this is what determines a great day to a really crappy day. Because if we're spending all of our time below the line in judgment, in blaming, reacting, in failure, in stuck and procrastination, we don't feel good. It doesn't make for a good day. But when we bring ourselves above the line and we go to that place of acceptance, love, choice, options, and be able to see the abundance and find clarity, we're in such a beautiful state that we're able to interact with so many other human beings in such a positive way that we only then look at options. We only then look at the positive side of things, and that can help shift you into having an amazing day. So I really hope this has actually supported you, and really go out and use it and then share with me how it's supported you, because I love to hear from people on how this has impacted their everyday.